Hey everyone, I am at my favorite spot in Durban, which is the Botanic Gardens. This is the place I come to when I just want to reflect and stuff is going on in life, and I want to get my head together and I want to maybe create something new, understand some stuff that's going on. This is something of my reflective spot, my happy space. Um, and I thought I'd just share with you my journey. This past weekend was completely life transformative for me. For many, many years, I've always felt that I am completely alone, that I don't have any support. And, uh, and I think, many of you might understand what that feels like. We're in this life and on this journey. We have our jobs and our families and our homes, and we're trying to give as much of ourselves as we possibly can. And sometimes I think we don't stop long enough to go within and ask those big tough questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What is it that I need to see, to learn, to integrate from my life experiences? And for many years I've been contemplating going on an ayahuasca ceremony. Now, ayahuasca is plant medicine, and it is not for the faint-hearted. So you've got to be really brave when you take this journey, and you've got to be ready for it. And I think you will find a calling when you are ready. And the call was there. And if you know me by now, you'd know that I'd go and do tons of research. So I did that as well. And yeah, so about a month ago, I saw this. I was ready, and I asked somebody that I know, do you know if there's an ayahuasca retreat in Durban? And immediately she sent me the information, and so I knew that the timing was right as well. And this weekend, I took the big leap, and I arrived there. And the week before, there's a lot of preparation to be done, and I felt excited, but I also felt really anxious because I know that the journey is not always easy. And oh, yeah, the first part of it was definitely not easy. When I arrived at the retreat, initially I felt really calm, and that was great. So I chatted with a few people, and just listening to some of their stories. Most of them, like me, it was our first experience, but some of the other people had done it a few times. And so, you sit down in circle, and everybody sets an intention for the journey. And for me, I felt that there's certain things that I needed answers for, that I wasn't quite getting to the really deep levels to find those answers. And also I felt that I was ready for my next level in my life. So I set the intention that anything that's in the way of my magnificence, I want to release, and I want to know my path. And so we start off, and we drink the ayahuasca. And initially nothing happened, and then you get offered the ayahuasca a second time, and I did take the second drink, and then that's where the journey really started. It was quite brutal. Like I said, it's not for the faint-hearted. It was brutal because it took me to that place deep inside of me where I feel alone, where I feel like there's never any support for me. I'm helping people, and I'm helping transform lives, but when I need the help, then people are generally saying, "Oh, you're strong. You know all of the stuff. You got this." But there's no real help available for me, and that makes me feel like even more alone. But in that time when I went through those depths of feeling completely alone and unsupported, I realized that a part of it is that I don't actually ask for help. I go through the stuff and it's all in my head, and I figure it out on my own, and it's tough, but I don't really ask for help. So I realized that, and what was difficult was that even before I realized that I don't ask for help, I was trying to get the attention of the shaman, but my hands felt so heavy that I couldn't even raise my hand to get his attention. I couldn't move. I couldn't really like turn my head to look in his direction to get help. I was just completely and utterly alone, and I realized that that feeling was being amplified in that moment. So until I realized that, I really don't ask for help. And that's when the purge happens, right? So the purge, you really like, you throw up something awful. so so yeah, that happened, and that was also quite difficult. But after that, I just felt a sense of calm, and I was able to sit up, and I was able to get his attention. And when he came to me, he looked different from, before we started the journey and I saw him. He looked one way, but in the midst of that, when I looked at him, he looked completely different. He looked almost angelic, like translucent. And he came to me with this great, great love. It with such love and attention. And it's like, I'm here, whatever it is you need, I'm here to support you. Um, and and I think I needed to release that belief that I am completely and totally alone and there's no support for me. And when I released that, immediately here was this person, the shaman. He was there in front of me, and he was offering his complete and utter support and love and understanding. Um, and then the next part of the journey was amazing. That was the full DMT experience, when you're seeing this kaleidoscope of lights, and it's sacred geometry, it's the symbols and signs, and it's really, really intricate. And I got the sense at that point that I didn't really need to understand any of the symbols that were coming at me. I just needed to allow it to download. And that part of the journey was blissful. It went on for over an hour, I would estimate. And in that time, the messages started coming. And the first message that came, and this message was repeated a few times, and the message was, I am everything. And everything, not just meaning, I'm love and I'm grace and beauty and all the wonderful things. No, it was, I am joy, but at the same time I could be sadness. I am bliss, and at the same time I could be anger. And I realized in that moment that if I am everything, then what is there to fear? And in that instant that I realized that, the fear just dropped. I had this feeling of spaciousness and openness. And each time I think I've opened my heart, I seem to go deeper. There's another layer and another layer. And my heart just opened, and I felt that I am just so ready to love with my whole heart. Absolutely no holds barred. I'm holding nothing back. I'm just so ready to love so fully, so openly. And there were a whole lot of other messages and stuff that came. One of the things is the Love Evolution, which is this movement that I've started, and it's right in its baby phase right now. I got confirmation that that is my purpose, it is my path, and to come forward and not hold back. And in that moment, I realized that when I do videos like this, that I do hold something back, because one of the things I realized in the Purge as well is that I hold back because I'm afraid of criticism and judgment. So I'm always thinking, who's watching this, and how are they going to come at me, I can't really handle the criticism, and we know, social media can be quite brutal at times. And the message for me was, don't hold back. Don't hold back your truth, because your message is great and powerful, and it's time for you to stand up and speak up. And those people that don't resonate will move away, and those people that are ready for it, ready for a life change, a transformation, ready to step into their own potential, and really open their hearts and love themselves, and create these amazing relationships, a new kind of relationship that is based on pure love, unconditional love, where we really and truly connect, and we're not afraid. We lay down the like I had to lay down in my ceremony. I had to lay down my shield, where I'm protecting myself, and my armor. I had to release that, and I had to release the spear in the other hand for when I feel I'm being when I'm unsafe and I want to attack, so I think these new kind of relationships where we create it consciously, we can really create something that's never been created before. And I think it's time for that. So, if you're listening to this still, and come join us, on the Love Evolution. And towards the end, I got to this place where I started laughing. That was the amazing part of the journey. And the shaman did say to us beforehand that when you realize some of the stuff you've been holding on to, some of those limiting beliefs, or the way you feel life should be, and how you should behave, and portray yourself, and you realize, like, none of that is real, and we're just playing small. And I realized so much of that stuff, and I just laughed, because the message was, everything you think you should do, all of it is bullshit. Sorry for the language. But that realization, it really made me laugh, because I realized that even my holding back, and wanting maybe approval from people I don't even know, all of that is the bullshit. That's what it is. And when you drop that fear of how you're going to be seen, and I think it really polarizes. The ones that are not meant for the message will say, ugh, this doesn't resonate, I don't care, and they're gone. And I think the people that are really ready for their next level, and I'm guessing if you're still watching this, you're one of those people, right? You're ready for your next level. And what does that mean to you? What is the next part of your journey? And what I know for sure is that it starts with self-love. It starts with us going within. We always feel that when we're not happy, that we've got to change something on the outside, that the people in our lives have got to change. And if only they can be more loving, more kind, more generous, if they can only pay attention more, if they can just love me more, and if they can just, see me for who I really am, acknowledge me, appreciate me, then I will be happy. And you know what? That's the stuff. It's all bullshit. It's not that they need to do all of these things. It's that we need to do all of these things for ourselves first. And the outside world is a mere reflection of that. When you love yourself, when you fall in love with yourself, the outside world will reflect that love back to you. You will attract the kind of people into your life who will have that ability to see you, to acknowledge you, to appreciate you, to love you. So the work is not on the outside, it's on the inside. And to do that work, you've got to be brave. You've got to step up and say, I'm willing to see myself. I'm willing to see the truth, the whole truth, not just all, the good stuff that I do for other people. It's also the fears that we have, that we're holding on to inside of us, the places where we don't acknowledge ourselves, where we feel that I'm not worthy, or there's something wrong with me and I need to be fixed. And I and I've spent years of my life fixing myself, and in this journey I realized that there's nothing broken here, there's nothing to fix. I'm whole, I'm so whole, so complete, and that feeling is just, oh, it's so amazing. And I think that's the moment that the fear drops, because if I'm everything, there's really nothing to fear. And I know that this is just one step in my journey, that there's a whole lot more ahead of me. And I'm excited for that journey. I'm open to it. I don't think for me the learning would ever stop. I wouldn't want it to. I just feel that there's layer after layer that's there and available. And I'm content with where I am right now in this journey. And I know that there's so much more unfolding. So this is Cass Naidoo, and if any of this resonates with you, come join me on the Love Evolution. The Facebook group is called the Love Evolution. Subscribe to this channel, and let's just talk. Let's be real. Let's be open. Let's be vulnerable. And when we talk about ourselves and relationships and how we show up and how the kinds of partners we're attracting, let's just be really open and vulnerable about that, because when we get to those deeper truths, we can create that radical self-love for ourselves. We can create epic relationships. It's always been my intention to help as many people as I can reach to create those epic relationships. And the only way to do it is consciously, by first going within ourselves and knowing our own power and our own beauty, our own magnificence, our radiance, and stepping into that. So take care, everybody, and I will see you soon.